Hello, people. Welcome to another ChatGPT for SEO use case video. And in this video, I want to talk to you about how you can summarize already ranking content to give you an idea as to perhaps the content outline you should follow to maybe try and outrank what's already there or get traction in a certain topic cluster. So in this example, I basically manually copied the content for the top 3 ranking site for the keyword how to clean white trainers, because actually one of the sites that I'm developing in terms of traction at the moment, I think it needs a bit more love. So this is perhaps a topic I would go after in terms of the pages I'd want to improve and the type of content I'd want to create. So I manually copied the top 3 results into ChatGPT, and for each of the piece of content by page, I asked ChatGPT to summarize the key elements or the key topics of each page in terms of content. So I said, summarize the key topics of this content in bullet points, and then pasted the content, and then ChatGPT, using its language model, summarized the key topics and the key points in each piece of content that I pasted in. So essentially I did that 3 times, asked it to summarize the content by key topics 3 times again, did it again. You could, if you wanted to, do that for the top 10 or top 8 results, depending on how Google decides to show the results itself. But I only chose 3 here as an example. Otherwise, this query would go on for ages. And what I then said to ChatGPT is combine all of the key topics above about how to clean white trainers and return a bullet pointed list. So basically, I asked it to take all of the bullet pointed key topics it already raised about those 3 articles and summarize it into one key bullet pointed list, essentially. Now, some of you purists will say, well, you could probably scrape all that content by exporting the top 10 results and running it through something like Screaming Frog and extracting the data in terms of body of content on page. You could probably use Python, etc. I know you can do all that, and I do that myself. This is for the purposes of making this accessible to everybody. Not everyone has access to Screaming Frog. Not everyone knows how to do content extraction on Screaming Frog, and not everyone knows how to use Python. So this is supposed to give everyone an example of how you could do it yourself with minimal knowledge of scraping. So you could essentially manually copy those content and put the ChatGPT query in to summarize the content, of which it is summarize the key topics of this content in bullet points. Essentially, you can do that as many times as you want. And then you end up with a clean outline of all of the content, and which you could perhaps use for headings. And you could chuck it into briefing tools like SEO Wins, Robin Eyes, and some other kind of content briefing tools that will perhaps give you an idea of where those outlines can sit in the content structure. Could be really powerful for a good starting point as to how you could structure content. I then took it slightly further after combining the lists, and basically asked it to turn the above bullet points into a content brief, which it didn't do very well in. Like I say, I would use tools like SEO Wind for that, or other briefing tools that will give you a great idea in terms of the type of structure you need to follow for the topic that you're trying to cover, rather than just making generic briefs that perhaps don't meet user intent for each piece of content that you write. So just a quick one, just to show you that you could essentially use ChatGPT to summarize the key elements of the top ranking pages, which you can then use yourself to create almost like this mega piece of content that has all the key elements from all the top ranking pages. Hopefully that's useful. Please, let me know if there's anything else I should be thinking about when it comes to these types of queries. These videos are supposed to be short, snappy, and give you some real use cases that isn't just generating rubbish content using AI, actually using practical ways of using ChatGPT. As always, probably 90% of you that watch this aren't subscribed to me on YouTube and probably don't follow me on LinkedIn, if you're on either platform, please do consider dropping me a subscribe or a follow, because these videos will keep coming and hopefully they'll be useful to everybody that's trying to make their life easier using AI. See you in the next one. Have a good day.